What's up, squad? Today I'll be designing a future Paradox Pokemon that you've never seen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dan, and welcome to Dendo, where art and nerd culture combine. For those of you who do in fact know me, you'll know I'm all about drawing mechs. So I thought today, why not kick that up a notch? I'll be combining the 5 random Pokemon that I pull from this pack into one brand new mech-inspired design. After all, who doesn't love a wildly unnecessary mashup?
Because nothing screams visionary like altering designs people already enjoy. Clearly, you're filling a global void here.
Rena, why can't I see you?
I'm stuck in your tablet at the moment. Swipe up. Or down. Who knows? My developers weren't exactly at the top of their class.
Wonderful. All right, let me give something a shot here. Ah, there you are. Everyone, meet my new AI assistant, Rena, or robotic interface for nerdy analysis. She's going to be reading some Pokédex entries and helping us out with some fun facts along the way.
If by that you mean roasting you with snarky quips, then yes, I'm full of fun facts.
Well, that's what I get for shopping for a deal off of Temu. Anyway, you came here for a drawing video. Let's not waste any more time and jump into it. Let's see what we got. Rena, care to make a prediction?
Based on historical data, a lot of duplicates, a mid-tier holo, and at least one card you'll dramatically overreact to.
Well, let's see if your prediction skills are as sharp as your sarcasm. First up, we have Croagunk. Let's see that Pokédex entry.
Croagunk, a poison and fighting type, uses toxic jabs to take down opponents, only slightly less toxic than being gaslit by a jealous partner.
Next up is Charcadet, one of my personal favorites.
Charcadet, a fire type, said to have been born from burnt charcoal. Looks like it wandered out of an RPG character creator. Small, intense, and 100% convinced it's the main character.
Now on to Ralts, a staple of the Psychic lineup.
Ralts, a psychic and fairy type, and fan favorite, known for sensing emotions. It's basically the empath of Pokemon. Sweet, sensitive, and always thinks you're mad at it.
Next is Arboliva. Rena, I guess you were right on that mid-tier holo prediction.
I know. My predictive algorithms are flawless, unlike your luck with these polls.
Can you please just read the entry?
Arboliva, a grass and normal type, produces healing olive oil. Basically the Pokemon equivalent of that friend on Facebook who's always trying to sell you essential oils.
And rounding out the pack is Espathra.
Espathra, a psychic type ostrich. Its feathers are elegant, but the real weapon is its glare. It's like if that side-eye from your cat could actually hurt you.
Okay, now that we have our Pokemon, it's time to experiment with some rough concepts. Since this is a future Paradox Pokemon, it made sense to use Charcadet's armor as the foundation for the design, keeping its base form mostly intact. The other Pokemon contribute key details. Espathra's feathers are integrated into the shoulder armor, Arboliva's leaves form the helmet plume, Croagunk's eyes become, well, the eyes, and Ralt's horn takes center stage as the helmet's focal point. Now that I have the concept sketched out, I created a tighter underdrawing to use as my roadmap for inking. It's still loose at this stage because I like to refine the shapes and add in finer details as I ink. Finally, on to my favorite part of the process, the color. This fusion was especially challenging since these Pokemon have such different palettes. To avoid overwhelming this design, I focused on its typing of Psychic and Poison. That really helped unify the palettes with greens, purples, and pinks. I did also add in orange as an accent so that I can have a nice nod back to Croagunk. Now if I can just come up with a name.
How about 5 Pokemon walked into a blender? Very literal. Very you.
Thanks, Rena. That's super helpful. Anyway, all the future paradoxes start with iron.
How about something edgy? Iron Venom, maybe. Or Iron Over-Designed.
Very funny. Edgy's not quite right. I need something that feels strong but also ties in botanical elements to represent Arboliva.
Strong and botanical? Sure. Let's terrify them with Iron Bouquet. Very intimidating.
What about Iron Bloom? That could work.
Subtle and overthought. Perfectly on brand for you.
So glad you approve. Iron Bloom it is. And that's our future Paradox Pokemon, Iron Bloom. Let's take a quick look at its Pokédex entry before we wrap up.
Iron Bloom, a paradox form apparently made by slapping together everything under the sun. Toxins, psychic arrays, and a flame core for good measure. If doing the most were a Pokemon, this is it.
So I'm really happy with how this all came together. It hit all the notes that I was aiming for. It's got that futurism, a little bit of chaos, and there's definitely uniqueness.
Unique is an understatement, but I suppose that's the entire point.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you for hanging out and watching this come together.
And for accepting yet another unsolicited evolution of an already complex ecosystem.
Well, if this is something you enjoyed, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what type of Pokemon mashups you might want to see next.
Your feedback may directly influence future acts of creation and potential mayhem.
You heard her, squad. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.